James Green, Short Series Shenanigans. So, this is going to be part number 3 of the Grizzly G0776 tailstock repair. Mess extravaganza nightmare, but we're fixing it. I have to laugh at this whole thing. So I've had a lot of comments, people contacting me on social media about the whole deal. You know, about the movers and the whole deal. I am dealing with it. I just, you know, as far as on social media, I want to get past that. You know, there ain't no sense in wallering in the past. It really aggravated me, and honestly, pardon my French, but it fucking pissed me the hell off, plain and simple. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Not going to cry over spilt milk. We're going to move forward. Like I said in the second video, this is an opportunity. So if you have a tailstock like this, you can actually do this modification so that you don't end up with, because purely by design, I mean, I've still got the parts right here, in this whole setup, you know, what we talked about, and I'll recap just in case you haven't seen the other 2 videos. This is the piece that goes through with the eccentric and the lever that locks the, once you slide the tailstock, it locks it, okay? 2 things. Number 1, I believe this was a major design flaw that they possibly did, I would conceive, to save material. If they'd have made this sucker, you know, another inch at least long, this probably would have never happened. But you know how people are trying to get by with the most minimum they can get by. So the second video you saw where I drilled through and I explained why. I haven't shortened this up yet, but to recap, bigger diameter a little bit, obviously longer, beefier, you know, we're gonna move forward. So I got to thinking about it and really, and of course I was able to tell once I started drilling through it, that this isn't soft cast. I was worried about this being really soft cast material. It's not. It's actually pretty hard, which is good. I got to thinking about, like I said originally, because the piece that was supported on the end that was broke plumb out, I'm not going to even try to put that back, and I'll show you guys when I move over, because it was open air. That's why I drilled through that and all the way through the other side, because so the skirt that supports it, it pulls down. So I actually went in there and cleaned it up because I was debating on whether I was going to TIG weld up the other area, and I thought, okay, let's see. Because all I've done is I cleaned it out with some parts cleaner, blew it out, and got to look, and I thought, well, let's see how far the cracks go. So, and I didn't do this on camera because no one wants to hear a loud air grinder. Okay, I went in where I could see the crack, and I thought, oh, it went further than I thought, and I got to look at another area. I thought, it looks like there is one. So what did I do? I went ahead and kind of scaled the area back, the whole area, just kind of surface cleaned it off, got the rosebud on the torch, heated it up, and I could see there was another crack on what we're going to call the front side of this. And I thought, okay, well, even though it's in an area that I want to go ahead at that point, I was like, okay, so that's another thing. When you heat it up, you can see where cracks go. They probably don't show, they didn't show up with the naked eye. I even had my optivisor on, but until I heated it up, the crack didn't, you know, once I heated it up, I could see where the crack went. So we did with the old school old school fashion, you know, we're gonna weld prep it. I went ahead and did like what I call standard procedure, found where the end of the crack is, we drilled a hole, scaled it back, weld prep, and I wasn't going to show a bunch of that on video. No one wants to hear a bunch of and that. I certainly don't. So I didn't film that, but you can see the after effects of what we are going to do. We're going to TIG weld it, silicon bronze. We're going to preheat. I've got the fire blankets here ready. Now, I'm not going to heat this. We're just doing a small area. And this is just to support that extra, kind of a little extra, that's all I know how to say is support. You know, I'm making this up as I go. I've had people say, well, bore it all out and put a big sleeve in and this and that and the other. And I thought, okay, well, Yeah, you could. And I'm doing this because I actually ordered another one of those castings from Grizzly. They weren't sure how long it was going to take to show up. I ordered this back in October. They said hopefully by Christmas time come right before I got a thing. They're like, hey, it's not here yet. Do you still want it? I called them. I said, yes, I want it. Let me know when it comes in. So I'm going to fix this because I got some stuff. I need my tailstock. I've had a lot of other stuff that I could do without it, projects, but it's at the point where I need my tailstock. So this is going to get it up and functional again. Like I said, this is a mod you can do to make it so that you don't have a breakdown or a failure on your tailstock like what I experienced due to some rough movers. We'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to move you guys over here. Pardon the camera movement. Oh, and I almost forgot. So, little update, and I apologize, guys. Been months and months since I did videos, and I know I have to apologize. I was scattered all over the place when I was doing the video for the repair of the belt grinder. So, long story short, quick recap. This had went out. I went ahead and took it all apart, flipped it all off. We ended up putting a, we actually replaced the belt with one of those here's the belt that was on it. Probably well, it's a Gates belt, but that wasn't the right size. It was actually too short. We replaced the belt with one of those green multi-cogged ones. Trying to see, I've got a couple of spare pieces floating around here of it. You know, these belts, you can get them at Harbor Freight or wherever. These are, everyone's like, they're pricey. They're great because I can adjust it, and I've got another one. So, handy, 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 perfect. I was able to adjust how much I needed. That's how much I took out of the original length because it was new, unused. It's awesome. So, new bearing while I was in there. The lower set, again, two, so that I'll move you over here so you can see real quick because there was a not a customer, a viewer that asked about it. So down here in the bottom, I'll show you guys. That way in case you have one of these or if you run across this. Let me look through the viewfinder here. So down here in the bottom, once you unbolt this, it's real easy. It's all metric, comes off, the guard comes off, this opens up, and everything's bolted together. Real simple. Down here, you had two more 6200. They're common, or 6202, I forget which. They're real common. 6200 and 60. If you guys want to order two types of bearings that are common in a lot of stuff, 6202 and 6200. Very common. VXB.com. Description in the link in the bottom. There's a deal in here in the bottom. It was kind of rough to get apart. Had two bearings. Those were bad as well too. They were unshielded. The ones I put in are shielded. So also refreshed, as you can see in the other video, that idler, there was actually an extra idler right here, or it's just a shaft that was, I guess you could move it. I don't know if you wanted to move that to over here. Maybe there was one missing. I don't know. I actually swapped it out because this one had wear spots on it. So we put it on, took a lot of it out. I've got it unplugged right now because where everything is plugged in, but it's up, it's running, it's awesome. Good to go. I had everything in stock. So that's kind of the update on that because I know someone had asked about it. Otherwise I'd turn it on and show you, but it's a belt grinder. What can I say? All right, so let me get over here and move the camera because I want you guys to be able to see. So this is going to be TIG welding video, and we're going to preheat, and bear with me. It's a one-man show here. All right, get the visor. All right, so what we're going to do, you guys should have a good view. I'm going to leave you back a little bit. So what we're going to do, I got everything set up ahead of time, trying to pre-plan these a lot better. I've got the fire blanket. So what we're going to do once we get done, we're going to preheat, okay? And I've already done some preheat, and I know I'm losing some of this, but I'm not worried about, because I'm not going to get super hot down here, so I'm not worried about the bore in here. We're basically working in this area right here. Now I've done a little preheat. You can see where I've weld prepped, and I'll zoom in there a little bit so you guys can see, because I know some of you guys that are okay, and I'll actually leave it like that. you can see where, and I've got extra tungstens already sharpened in case I dip. I always have those extra. 1/8 inch, because I'm doing heavy stuff. 2% lanthanated, and I'll use that as a pointer. So we came in here and preheated. Like I said, this side over here, I'm not worried about because I've got all this extra where we drilled through. So, but I came in here, started scaling back, and this is where I found that second crack. It went back there and stopped. We drilled through. You know, same thing here. We're going to come in here and we're just going to preheat this up. We're going to build it up, and then when we get done, I've still got this set up in the lathe or the mill. I'm going to leave it there. That way we can come back and run our bit through here again. Okay. When we get done, we're going to put the fire blanket over it, let it cool down naturally. But we are going to preheat here this, and it appears that the wife has acquired my digital temp gauge. So I'm going to have to buy me another one. She decided she liked that for the kitchen. So that's something next time I go to Harbor Freight, I'm going to get another one. So we're going to come in here, got the rosebud on, oxygen acetylene. We're going to preheat, and let's get started. Because we've got about 11 minutes worth of talking already. So go ahead and get started. Let's see. I'm going to need my striker. I had it right up here, and of course I moved it. You always try to get ready, and as soon as you get ready, you're like, oh wait a minute, where'd that go? All right. Oh, here it is. Okay. Striker in hand. Good to go. Turn the oxygen acetylene on a little bit. All right. We're just going to come in here. And I'm going to back you guys up a little bit so you can see what we got. Whoop. I always do that. Okay. Go back up here, wide view. Got the ground hooked to a stud. That's the stop stud for the bar. So that's where we're contacting ground here. Let's get started. Oxygen on, acetylene on. And all I have to do is wrap here. And we've got the rosebud, and we're going to get started. Pow! Let's get some air out. There. Pow. That don't take long. Oxygen off. Acetylene off. Alright. I'm going to grab our hood, turn our welder on, using the Lincoln TIG 200 Squarewave. We're running 175 amps. Put the argon on, flowing about 15. Alright. Coming straight. Now, I've already wiped down my silicon bronze with denatured alcohol. Even when you get it, you have to wipe it down before use because there's oil on it. So we've already done that. Got the pedal set up. A little purge. Alright, brand new set of Tillmans. The others are good, but not for TIG welding because I don't want oil and crap on my TIG rod. Alright, brand new set of Tillmans. Everything's set. Let me zoom you guys in here just to... Actually, I'll let you sit back here and watch so you can kind of see how I position. go to Staples, get you one of these cheap, like $60 office chairs. You can adjust everything because you want to be able to prop comfortably. Get the wheels to turn here. That way you can get right up on this. Foot on the pedal. Get comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, it's going to show. I'm not the best welder in the world. I'll be the first one to tell you that. All right. We're going to start on this one first. Come in here, we're going to build up. Keep it up. Get it to flow. Now I'm going to add extra on top of this, just to make it stronger. We're going to make a few layers, and I am going to have to come in here and grind some of this back because there's an adjustment that's right here that comes through that helps adjust this piece. Mask is fogging up. It started to blob out there in the bottom, so I pulled off. I could see, because I tried to V it out and weld prep it as much as possible. Let it cool, come back, add a little more. Now you can see where I didn't get that cleaned up there, and it's trying to be ornery. There we go. I don't want to cover that hole up for the adjustment screw. And I'm going to go ahead and put silicone bronze over the top of this other area. Even though this is a non-supported area, I'm still going to add some in here and build it up, give it rigidity. Mask is fogging up. I love that. Alright, it's fogging up because I'm talking. Let me go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit. And you can see what I'm doing. What I will tell you as far as a tip, you start getting too hot, you pull the heat off, let it cool. That way you get it too hot and everything just melts and falls away. And so we're going to come up here. I'm going to add a little bit more because I don't want to get too far. I'm going to have to come in here and move some of this out so my adjustment screw can come all the way through. But we're going to add some more to the top of this. This is why I love silicon bronze on cast. Lower melting point. Now we may have it, and we're probably going to have to lap this in here because this is obviously going to be distorted, and we'll relap this in. Alright. I'm going to lay a little bit more right across this end here. Alright, so that's built up pretty far there. You guys can see. Now I know, let me back the camera up. Okay, I know. Turn the welder off. Alright. So, I know that, and I'll turn it around, you can see where all that's. I know that this is going to be distorted here. Now I will set up my lapping plate and some sandpaper and we'll lap this in, but I added extra in here. Now the reason I didn't do the other side that I talked about was because, okay, yeah, we could come in here and add, but really the reason we did, pull all that on every cast, see that's that Bondo and coating, and we'll strip all that off and redo it. That's what you're seeing smoke. Anyway, I don't want to get that on my gloves, my new TIG gloves. I don't want to get them contaminated. Knock that stuff into the floor. So, I'll flip this over real quick and then we'll get this covered up so it can cool down correctly. You guys can see from the other video, you remember we got this, it comes all the way through here and support. So I wasn't too concerned about building that other area up because I have all of this. Now if this was a bigger item, daily heavy use, I would probably do this a whole different way, but for what it is right now, I think we're going to be okay. The reason I decided to do it without pulling all this off, because the heat's going to stay up here. Yeah, it's probably warm down here, you know. Let's see. And I can hold it, my hand to it, so to me, yeah, it got warm. We're going to pull it apart. We'll clean it, we'll lube it, we'll definitely take all this apart, clean it out, you know, because we're going to clean all this up now. We'll totally disassemble it, have to relap it. But what we're going to do now is, I don't want to get stuff on my TIG gloves. That's a big thing, you know, a trick that I learned, especially from other viewers telling me, you know, when you use your good TIG gloves just for TIG welding, when you do other stuff, use other gloves so you don't contaminate, because that stuff transfers to your rod, and it's a good point. So we're almost there. So now all we're going to do, fiberglass blanket, Harbor Freight Special, that's what they're for. We're going to wrap this up. Okay, and we're going to let that cool down slowly. And I got one more of them up here. And some more TIG rod. I wiped off 3 of them just in case something happened. Didn't need them, which is fine. And then I got one more here. And we're just going to, and it is going to smoke. And then we're just going to leave it all wrapped up, and we're going to let it cool off naturally. So there you go. Back you guys up over here. After lots of thinking about it and comments from other, let me see how much time I got, a couple minutes. All right, from other viewers, I thought, you know what, let's give this every fighting chance we can. Now I've got aluminum bronze. You could have used, like, I had some guy tell me you could use like 308 or 316. I've got that filler rod. I could. I know I've used silicone bronze a lot on TIG repairs, like I did the lip on this stake plate, this Pexo stake plate. I've done it on the oven part for Rebel, Lathrop, buddy of mine. I've had very, very good success with. Now these are all items that are super non-critical. Now if you're doing something that's on a big job or whatever, they're probably going to tell you to use a different rod. But for basic, I say artsy fartsy or nothing really life limb or eyesight related, the silicone bronze works great. Has a lower melting point. Get your stuff clean, preheat, even if it's a part. I've learned preheat, boil whatever's in the cast item. Even if it's aluminum, you're doing aluminum, whatever, just preheat, boil the stuff out. Cast aluminum, cast steel, cast iron, preheat. Because it's nasty, nasty, especially on aluminum. And there's oil involved or whatever, you've got to get that out. And I preheated this a lot to boil, and it smoked. I had the garage door up, now I have to open it again, but get that stuff out. And then of course you preheat again right before you go. And you saw there some of the little sparkling or whatever, that was some of the other area where I didn't go in and dress it with the carbide ball. That's where it was sparking off and the whatever that was in there. So there you go. Part 4, there will be a part 4 and 5 and 6, however, you guys know 30-minute increments is how I do this. And we're almost to the end because I do 30-minute increments or less. So, gonna let this cool off for several hours. We'll come out, we'll do other stuff. Thanks again, you guys and gals. All the new subscribers, there's been a ton of them. Check my channel out. I've had to restart, lots of stuff. Thanks for watching. Public email address if you want to email me, eagledustoff37@gmail.com. Till next time, get out in your garage and do something. I love these short series shenanigans. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.